So, Season 1 of No One Saw Us Leave takes us on this thrilling ride with a seriously dysfunctional family. And let me tell you, it keeps you on the edge of your seat right until the very end. After the court ruling in Jerusalem, Leo has no choice but to head back to Mexico and face a fair custody trial against his ex, Valeria. But even though his days of jetting around the world are over, this guy manages to pull off one last disappearing act on the mother of his children. However, things eventually work out. Leo gets sick of dancing to his father's tune and condemning his kids to these fugitive-like lives, so he finally turns Tamara and Isaac over to Valeria. And just like that, her months-long quest finally ends as she's reunited with her kids. The bittersweet ending. After 6 episodes of really getting to know Leo and all the unique complications in his life, the ending is definitely bittersweet. There's this moral ambiguity on both sides of the whole situation. So even though there's no clear sign that the show's coming back for Season 2, fans might still find themselves holding on to a little hope for a renewal. Possible release date. Now, the chances are pretty slim to none, but if the series does get greenlit for continuation, we might see a new season around late 2027. Why Season 2 might not happen. Here's the thing. No One Saw Us Leave is a limited series based on the 2024 memoir Nadie, Partir, which tells the real-life story of Tamara Trottner. In the book, she shares her childhood experiences when her father kidnapped her and her brother back in the late 1960s, trying to keep them away from their mother. The series stays pretty faithful to this autobiographical source material, aside from the occasional detail and some dramatization for TV. That's why the Season 1 finale gives us this definitive, well-rounded ending through the kids' reunion with Valeria. What the ending reveals. Through those ending placards, we get some insight into what really happened to the family off-screen. We learn that Trottner and her brother were actually separated from their father for around 20 years. Plus, we find out that Valeria and Carlos's relationship lasted despite their unconventional start as a couple. These info cards really fill in the blank spaces and tie up any loose ends, giving us a conclusive resolution. So honestly, it wouldn't be surprising if this series wraps up as a one-season thing. The limited series factor. And here's another key point. It's labeled as a limited series, which really adds weight to the idea that Season 2 probably won't happen. More often than not, shows ordered as limited series don't get renewed for multi-season runs. Sure, there are exceptions like Fleabag, Big Little Lies, and The White Lotus, but those are exactly that, exceptions. And they had massive critical and audience acclaim backing their renewals. For No One Saw Us Leave, the likelihood of a Season 2 remains pretty low. Why Season 1 feels complete. The biggest reason Season 2 might not happen? Season 1 already wraps everything up. By the end, the story rounds out all its narrative and thematic threads, giving us this real sense of completion with the Goldberg and Saltzman family. Major themes explored. Through Leo and Valeria's exhausting journey after their marriage ends, the show explores some really relevant themes. Family dynamics, toxic relationships, the intricacies of social influence, and reputation obsession in families. Leo's story presents this morally ambiguous tale about cycles of oppression and control in parent-kid relationships, and how unresolved trauma affects future generations. On the flip side, Valeria's storyline focuses on the systemic social injustices and persecution women faced, especially underlined by the 1960s setting. The satisfying climax. So, the ending of Season 1 brings both their stories to a satisfying climax. Valeria gets her happy ending and reunion with her kids, while Leo has this moment of introspection and self-assessment. It really cements the complex and tragic nature of the family's history and highlights the nuanced perspectives of both Leo and Valeria. What Season 2 would need to be. If there were to be a continuation, it would have to diverge from the core themes of the series to explore new aspects of their lives, probably involving healing, forgiveness, and self-help. And while the chances of this happening remain thin, it's actually kind of an intriguing idea. Final verdict. Until we get any official announcements, the future of the series is ultimately uncertain. But based on everything we know, it looks like No One Saw Us Leave told the complete story it set out to tell. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.